Melbourne's CBD transformed into a battle zone. A night for families to enjoy Moomba fireworks overrun by hundreds of youths from the Apex and Islander 23 gangs. This was the scene inside a lift at Flinders Street Station.
The 2016 Moomba Brawl was a public disturbance that took place on the night of 12 March 2016 during the Moomba Festival in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. The incident involved violent clashes between members of two street gangs. The Apex gang, largely composed of youth of South Sudanese and other African backgrounds, and Islander 23, a group predominantly made up of youth of Pacific Islander descent, mostly Fijian, Samoan, Tongan and Maoris. The violence erupted in and around Federation Square, causing property damage, halting festival activities, and prompting a large-scale police response. The event attracted extensive media coverage with images and footage of the brawl broadcast nationwide. Public discourse following the incident focused heavily on gang violence, youth crime, and the role of ethnicity in media reporting. Since 2016, there has been almost a clash every year. While not all incidents have reached the scale of the 2016 brawl, many have resulted in public disturbances, arrests, and increased police deployment across the festival precinct. These recurring altercations have cemented the rivalry between the two groups in the public consciousness and kept the issue of youth gang violence in Melbourne at the forefront of political and media discourse. The Apex gang rose to prominence in Melbourne during the mid to late 2010s, becoming one of the most widely discussed youth crime groups in the state. It is believed to have originated in the outer southeastern suburb of Dandenong, an area with a long-standing reputation for gang-related activity, specifically on Apex Street, from which the group is said to have taken its name. According to police and media reports, the gang began with two teenage brothers before gradually expanding to include other local youths from diverse backgrounds, including Pacific Islander, Caucasian, and Middle Eastern heritage, though the group became most strongly associated in public discourse with African youth, particularly those of South Sudanese descent. In its early years, Apex was described as an informal, loosely connected network rather than a rigidly structured gang, with many members communicating and organising through social media. Reports from law enforcement suggested that members would travel from Melbourne's outer southeast to wealthier northern suburbs, where they engaged in violent home invasions, carjackings, and armed robberies. These activities, often targeting affluent households, fed into the perception that Apex was deliberately robbing the rich and contributed to heightened public anxiety and political debate over youth crime in Victoria. The Apex gang played a central role in the so-called African gang panic that gripped Melbourne in the mid to late 2010s. While the group was multi-ethnic, high-profile crimes involving South Sudanese Australian members were heavily publicised, and the media frequently portrayed Apex as an African gang. Some observers argue this exaggerated the gang's size and influence. As one Reddit user put it, while there was a relatively small gang under that name for a while, it basically became a graffiti meme the police took seriously. In reality, the actual Apex was just a couple dozen dudes who were relatively easy to crack down on, but their prolonged presence was useful to the police and media at that time. Islander 23, also known as 23Z, was a youth gang active in Melbourne during the mid-2010s, predominantly composed of young teenagers of Pacific Islander descent, including Fijian, Samoan, Tongan, and Maori backgrounds. While far less documented than Apex, they were involved in several notable clashes with their rivals, most prominently the 2016 Moomba Festival brawl that brought them national attention. The group is believed to have been founded in Kings Park by a figure known as Big Mike and recruited members from surrounding suburbs such as St Albans, Deer Park, and other parts of Melbourne's west. Reports and community accounts link Islander 23 to street violence, assaults, and group confrontations, though they were not as consistently targeted by the media as Apex. Despite their lower profile in news coverage, Islander 23 developed a strong local reputation and maintained a presence in certain neighbourhoods, with their name occasionally surfacing in connection to robberies and public disturbances in the years leading up to Moomba. Many believe the 2016 Moomba riots marked the beginning of the deepening West versus East divide in Melbourne's youth culture. But what exactly sparked the violence that night? an eruption that would ignite near-annual clashes in the years that followed? The truth is, there's no single, clear answer. Some see it as a cycle of revenge, while others point to long-standing racial tensions between African and Pacific Islander communities. Police suggested the chaos was driven by mob mentality, fueled by ideas of honour and bravado, where young people sought to assert dominance and reputation through violence. Ultimately, the causes are complex and intertwined, reflecting broader social issues that extend far beyond that one night.
Was the scene inside a lift at Flinders Street Station.
A fight breaks out near Federation Square. The punches fly fast, but the police response with capsicum spray is faster. This is what police call zero tolerance. 8 seconds and the trouble is gone. A different set of kids rocked up last night. Some say police as young as 15 came from the suburbs to the city and they weren't there for the riots. Brawls broke out across the CBD, including this one on Flinders Street, where punches were thrown. Again, police were quick to move in and shut it down.
Why? But suddenly screams erupt and many start running. Then we see the reason for their fright. It's got to be the only family event where there are as many riot squad vehicles as there are sideshows.
The best efforts from police.
Everyone line up here, please, and move the line.
The aggressive teens flooded Flinders Street Station.
Get back. That's her last chance. She goes home, she goes to jail. It's over away.
And even some adults had a stern message for the brawling groups. 5 people, including this man, were arrested during the violent night. A man in his 20s was taken to the Royal Melbourne Hospital with serious head and facial injuries. The Lord Mayor is reassuring the public the festival is safe.
Police at the scene told me that the violence started earlier in the evening. The teens had come here from Moomba Festival and that the fight was organised.
We can see a group of youths throwing punches and shoving each other before disbanding.
To the violence last night. They will also investigate this incident, which shows a young girl being pushed by a PSO. Many on social media have condemned the behaviour of this PSO, but police say, on a whole, they were happy with how they handled the behaviour of last night's violence.
18-year-old man is fighting for life in hospital after a wild brawl unfolded as families headed home.
Mindless violence again takes over Moomba.
Oh, shit.
An 18-year-old man left fighting for his life, critically injured after being stabbed in the leg.
Moomba Festival has been rocked by a wild brawl involving dozens of teenagers.
What you bitch?
Caught up in the middle of mindless Moomba violence, an innocent man clings to his walker and attempts to steady himself as the kicks rain down.
Pussy!
The brawl unfolded last night at what's supposed to be a family-friendly festival. Dozens of young children watching on.